are we going to be able to avert, these high levels?
In the past, most buildings have not been designed to address global warming. But that's about to change. Now, a few architects are designing buildings with glass facades that operate more efficiently. Cook wants One Bryant Park's facade to keep interiors cooler. And one of its predecessors does much the same with its modern tower. Key to its efficiency is its use of glass and steel. One of the most distinctive facades in New York stands on 8th Avenue between 56th and 57th Street. At the Hearst Tower, a traditional 86-year-old facade meets the cutting edge in ultra-modern design. Not only is it modern, it's also one of the greenest skyscrapers in existence. The Hearst Tower uses state-of-the-art window technology in its glass facade. Its special glass coating lets visible light through while keeping heat out. Interiors stay cooler and demand less energy for air conditioning. In addition, the glass face allows more natural light to enter office spaces, reducing the need for artificial light and electricity. This facade structure also requires 20% less steel. The new tower's face boasts a unique diagrid design. Each diagrid section spans 4 stories, and each of the triangles carry the gravity load while also providing lateral strength, so beams don't need additional bracing. In the end, this saves over 1,800 tons of steel compared to a traditional structure of the same size. But building it was a challenge.
This particular job, there were no vertical columns. All the columns were diagonals, and they were actually not 2 stories long, they were 4 stories long. So we had to figure out how we were going to erect these columns. How do you stand up a column and have it physically stand there without bracing it or support it temporarily until you could tie the other column in?
It's all worth it in the end. With its cooling systems and decreased use of artificial light, the building consumes 26% less energy than a skyscraper of comparable size. Now, One Bryant Park is set to outdo that. Richard Cook wants his skyscraper to save 50% on energy use. As in the Hearst Tower, Cook wants to save energy at One Bryant Park by using a state-of-the-art glass window facade. Its special coating allows light to enter while blocking out heat. And engineers took it a step further.
And we need to find another way to reduce the amount of sun energy that's entering into the building. So at the tops and at the bottoms of each piece of glass, we have this thing called a frit pattern, which is baked right into the glass. It's essentially paint that's baked into the glass. And it's a series of dots that fade from bottom up and from the top down. If we look right here, we can see these dots on the glass. That's the ceramic frit.
The dots are so small, they're hardly visible, but they reflect out the harmful effects of the sun, minimizing heat entry into the building. This keeps building interiors cooler, therefore, less energy is needed for air conditioning. But in order for this facade to be successful, this glass curtain wall must first withstand tough conditions. Windows on other modern skyscrapers have made headlines before, sometimes for the wrong reasons. In 1999, windows from a skyscraper in Chicago came crashing down, taking the life of a young mother. During the construction of the Hancock Tower in Boston in the early 70s, a violent storm blew out at least 63 glass panels, sending them shattering to the streets below. To avoid any catastrophes at One Bryant Park, the facade design is rigorously tested before it's installed. At this facility in Miami, Richard Cimbello and his team test equivalent glass facades under extreme conditions. They test the aluminum and glass curtain wall system with high-force winds and rains. The water rack provides the equivalent of 20 centimeters per hour rainfall. And this turboprop jet engine creates an 80 per hour wind force.
We're inspecting the wall for leakage. We will look along the gaskets, down the gaskets, at the corners. The wind gusts are also moving the glass in and out, somewhere around 1/4 of an inch.
The approved wall system design is then manufactured and installed at One Bryant Park. It will take over 8,600 glass panels to sheathe the building. Each section stands between 4.5 and 6 meters high and weighs about 453 kilograms. The men must lock each and every panel in place, one by one. To do that at these heights is time-consuming and dangerous. Here on the 38th floor, the men hang out over the ledge of the building, about 183 meters off the ground. The crews must race to keep up with the ever-rising steel structure.
There's 2 people on the bottom that hoist the panels out. The 3 on the top set the panel on the top and set it to the height and the correct in and out in the rack. It takes approximately 1 week to do the floor. Depending on the weather, the floor conditions, about a week.
To stay on schedule, they must complete the windows of this floor today. Just as in any skyscraper construction, time is money, and there is a constant pressure on the team to raise the structure on schedule. But in a green building like this one, there is even more at stake. Building sustainable skyscrapers costs about 5% more than a conventional structure. At One Bryant Park, that translates into roughly $60 million. For many companies, these additional costs may be the biggest stumbling block against going green.